Hello, and I'm bringing my channel back from the dead, from crappy Let's Play videos, because I felt compelled to talk about a game, a really really interesting game, and you can probably tell from the title of the video what that game is. But that game is Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, and yeah, I really like this game. But yeah. It's really controversial and stuff, so I figured I'll talk about it. Yeah. Anyways, uh, sorry for the little jump cut there, but I don't know where to start with this game because there is a lot to talk about, and yeah, there's just well, I guess the best way to start is with the reveal trailer from 2013 or so. Um, the game when I first saw the game years ago, when it was first revealed as Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. I don't know how I didn't really know what Shin Megami Tensei was, and I knew what Fire Emblem it is, but I'm not really a Fire Emblem fan. I only play Sacred Stones. But anyways, like in around 2014 or so, I played Persona 3, and I thought that game was pretty cool. And believe it or not, I actually ended up playing every other game of the Megami Tensei franchise since then. Well, most of the English translated ones, with the exception of um, I think Jack Brothers and Devil Children. I played pretty much all of them. So I grew to be a big fan of the series and stuff. So yeah, uh, there was a long period of time this game too where it was practically dead. There was like no news for it for almost a year. And when the game was re-unveiled, um, I think it was like April 1st, 2014 or 15 or something. My first reaction to it was like, what is this? I was so surprised by the game. I was like, oh, this is not what I expected. I expected a Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem game. But I was a little bit disappointed at first, but then I thought, well, it probably would be good anyways. So yeah, I kind of just accepted it and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. It was just like so. It's like there's controversy for this game and stuff, and I was really confused because that first initial trailer from 2013 didn't really say anything. It just said, "Oh, this project is happening," and that game was announced too early. But yeah. And then, like, lo and behold, people got weird ideas in their heads of how the game will be, and ended up not being what they wanted. So. Hi, post me here. I want to clarify saying that I was confused by the overwhelming negative reaction to the re-reveal trailer. So yeah, wanted to clarify that. So it isn't really surprising that the game went in a totally different direction where everybody expected it to go because the game was announced too early. That's what I wanted to say here. But it doesn't really matter. So actually, it does matter, but I don't know. But whatever. Uh, it's the game turned out to be what it is, and yeah. Okay, another jump cut, but sorry, I kind of blinked out. But I want to talk about like stuff that was leading up to this game's release and the stupid censorship and stuff. Um, my reaction to the censorship was like, oh, that's a thing. But I didn't really care. Um, it was like, oh, it happened, but I don't know. I didn't see it like the stuff that got changed. I didn't thought was a big deal enough that would affect the gameplay anyway. So I just didn't really it didn't really bother me. I was baffled by it. I was like, oh, you like there's just one where Tsubasa, which is one of the characters in the game, obviously. Like she has like a dress, like a wedding dress, and she's painted. I thought that was weird, but like a lot of the changes didn't really affect the game. A lot of it was like since I finished playing the game. Uh, a lot of the changes are really minute and the and really small. It only takes like such a small part of the game that unless it's really pointed out or you do research on it, you most likely wouldn't notice. So yeah, it's there, but it isn't really noticeable. At least in my opinion, it isn't. But whatever. Uh, and maybe I should stop talking about the stuff leading up to the game and actually talk about the game. So yeah, picking it up and playing it, like there, like gameplay wise, this is a really great game. It is really polished. It's like the developers took all the cool ideas of previous games in the franchise from Megami Tensei and like say like, hey, look, this is what works, this is what doesn't. Let's make it into this game and make it really, really refined and really, really well made. Like it borrows from everything. Like it has a three-person party limit from Digital Devil Saga, and the dungeon design similar to Digital Devil Saga. Um, it has the battle system from Strange Journey. So like every time, they're called session attacks here, but whenever you like you do explain enemy weakness, your party members will do a follow-up attack, and like it can build up and do and link to do more powerful like more sessions within the combo. It's really cool. It's also sort of like Persona Q in that way. So yeah, it borrows from everywhere. It has like the buff system from Persona 3 and 4 where it lasts for 3 turns and it doesn't stack like a main line, which is kind of lame, but I think like the fact that that lasts for 3 turns really adds a lot of strategy to the game because there were times where I tried to use buffs and the enemy or like cancel it or something. Well, obviously that'll happen, but like by the time you do the buff, your buff will already be running out and you have to rebuff and you just end up not doing much in the battle. The stuff like that happens. So the way the buffing system works is really interesting because it isn't it lasts for 3 turns. So you can get the idea how does whatever. You get the idea. It's like Persona 3 and 4 in that sense. It's really neat. Um, there's other things in the gameplay too that's really cool that like like um like the way you make you craft weapons is similar to also like Strange Journey. Um, but the cool thing about this game is that the weapons actually like you learn stuff similar to like the monster system in Digital Devil Saga. But unlike the monster system where you have skill trees and everything, and you it's kind of predetermined in this game. Uh, Pretty much it's based on the class of the character. So for example, Eleonora, she's an archer class. Uh, so she'll learn obviously archery moves and like stuff like that. And her moves would be based around the fact that she's an archer. Um, it's really cool. The class system is basically identical to Fire Emblem actually. You can also change the classes with Master Seals like Fire Emblem and stuff like that. Um, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Uh, Other gameplay stuff is I'm trying to think of other stuff, but it really is pretty much a mixture of like Persona, Digital Devil Saga, and Strange Journey. Weirdly enough, it's like a mixture of all those 3 games with a hint of like Shin Megami Tensei 4 because it borrows from that as well. Like you can save anytime you want, like a Shin Megami Tensei 4, or like you can change the difficulty, though that's in other games in the franchise too. There are other things too, like the icons, um, like fire and I mean, or Bofu, Zio, or stuff like that. Like it borrows like the same like icons from like Shin Megami Tensei 4 and stuff like that. Like it's similar to it. Whatever. I'm probably not making sense, but it's really cool. Like it has a lot of cool ideas like in terms of gameplay. It's really refined and stuff and really fun and really neat and cool stuff. It's good. It is really good. There's also an option to make it so the AI controls your party members, but why would he do that? That's stupid. So yeah, um, the gameplay is awesome. It is the best thing from this game, and I really hope that a lot of the gameplay stuff carries over to other Megami Tensei games in the future because it's really like polished and stuff, and it's really cool. Um, there's also a lot of cool Easter eggs too. Like if you pay attention to any Shanghai Tensei game or Megami Tensei game, there's a lot of references to it. And there's also a lot of references to Fire Emblem that I probably completely missed because I'm not a big Fire Emblem fan, but it's there. A lot of cool stuff is there. Um, and a lot of people think this is like a Persona game or compare it to a Persona game. It isn't really. I mean, I just like it's similar, but it isn't like identical to it. I should clarify and say that when I say this is not a Persona game, I mean that. I mean, it's its own thing. It's its own separate entry in the Megami Tensei franchise. It's not a mainline game or a Persona game. It's its own thing that borrows from everything. I should make that clear because I don't feel like what I said was clear enough for some reason. Uh, and I do like it. I do like how it does like borrow from a lot of stuff, and I'm just repeating myself now, but like you get the idea. Hopefully. There's a lot of other cool stuff in the gameplay too that I kind of like a lot of people complained about the text messages, but I actually think it's really cool and stuff. I don't know, it's just something about it I find really neat. Um, there are other things too, like I'm trying to think. I'm blanking, but the gameplay is cool. But I think you get the idea by now. It's great. I'm sorry. What else? Oh, I want to talk about the story because why not? The story is incredibly bland and incredibly mediocre. Um, it's basically the power of friendship. Um, yeah, conquers all and stuff. And there's the whole idol thing isn't like a lot of people would say, oh, this is gonna be like, or at least thought that it's gonna be really bad, but it isn't really. Like the idol stuff isn't like, even though it's there, it isn't like annoyingly there, and it's more about like the characters trying to grow from like being artists creatively and stuff. It's really neat, and I like it. With that being said, though, the characters in this game aren't very deep at all, and chances are, if you played like any other Shin Megami Tensei game or Megami Tensei game, you might be disappointed because they're really like like for what they are, they're good characters. They're really funny characters. They're not deep characters or really complex characters in any way. They're just basically bland animated cliches, and they never like get like super developed or like super like they're not like as likable. Oh, I'm not how do I say this, but like the characters even though they are good, they're not as like as deep as like the traditional Devil Saga cast or like the Persona 3 and 4 cast or even Persona 2's cast. They're not that or like even the Raito cast. They're not as deep or likable or they are likable, but they're not as like interesting as those characters. But those other games, at least in my opinion. Um, yeah. They're all likable characters though, so I guess it's not that bad, but I'm just saying I wish they were I really wish they were more deep. Like but they aren't and by the time the game ends, um like there really aren't that much from like there isn't as much growth as there was from like the beginning of the game. They're pretty much the same. Um like like Tsubasa being the boring Mary Sue and Iski being the boring everyman protagonist. that he is. Like literally, the game says he's an everyman. Um, and stuff like that. They're all really likable characters, but they're not really like I said deep. I like them though. I wish they were better, but they aren't. Um, Shaky. That ain't good. Sorry about that. Um, what else? Um, uh, the story itself is basically I'm assuming how the since I don't really know how much like a lot of like how Fire Emblem stories are like, I'm assuming that the story is basically just, oh, what if we took a Fire Emblem story and made it in modern times Tokyo? And that's basically what the story is. Um, that's what I'm assuming it is. Like it's a really simple story, and like at least the main story is basically um, there's this thing called the Shadow Dragon, which is a I know is a title of a Fire Emblem game. It's running amok, and you gotta stop it. It's like two-thirds into the game where they talk about that, I think, or halfway through, around there. And the first half is like you're helping people because they're getting it's really silly. Like it is like you help people, but it isn't really like really that big of a deal. And it's kind of funny how nonchalant the whole like everybody treats this like the situations in this game. It's like, well, like like for example when you beat the final boss, they're like, oh, well, that happened. We won. And like it isn't like treated like a as big as a deal as you think it'll be treating. Like, oh, we saved the world, but yeah, let's move on with our lives now. Like it isn't like it isn't treated like a big deal like it is like in any other games. So you'll think saving the world will be treated like a big deal, but it isn't. So it's kind of weird in that way. But yeah, um, the story's fine. It's just like it isn't really um anything amazing. I do like the characters, like I said, but they're just okay. Even again, they are just okay. I like Eleonora. I do like Kiria. And I do like um Memory. I like them. Those are probably my favorite character, and Barry actually. Those four characters. Those are probably the best characters in the entire game for me at least. The rest are uh just kind of forgettable and stuff. So yeah. Um I want to talk about difficulty for the game, because why not? I played the game on hard, and I felt that this game, at least in terms of difficulty, was although it was challenging, it wasn't like it wasn't too hard even on hard. If that makes any sense. Like if you played any other Megami Tensei game, this game will probably be a cakewalk for you. Like it was a cakewalk for me. It isn't really necessarily hard. Uh, I'll dare say is as easy as Persona 4 Golden, which if you play that game, you know how piss easy that game is. So it isn't very the most challenging game out there, um, but it is fun. Like and the hard mode does provide this decent challenge. It's just if you are familiar with any other Shin Megami Tensei game, the game won't give you any trouble. Like there were times there weren't any moment in the game where I thought I was gonna lose. Like like where I thought this is hopeless. There's no way I can win. There was never a moment where I was fighting a boss or something where that happened. Or there isn't and there isn't that boss. And if you played a Megami Tensei game, you know what I mean by that boss. Like the infamous Matador in Nocturne, or Ouroboros in Strange Journey. Like there isn't any of those that bosses in this game, and it's just like difficulty wise, it's very balanced and very fair. It is again easy, but it's just easy for me because I play the games. it'll probably be harder if you're not familiar with everything, but I thought it was pretty easy. Um, yeah. Oh, the music in this game. The music is J-poppy and stuff, and I love J-pop. I, I'll say that. Yeah, sure. I love J-pop. It's pretty fun, peppy music. Um, it's not as good as anything Shoji Meguro pull out. And that sounded weird how I studied like it's not as good as Shoji Meguro. There we go. That sounded better. But it's fine. It's decent music. This a lot of the soundtrack ranges from that's good to hey that's pretty good, and it's just it's really well made, but it isn't anything super memorable. At least that's why I think it's a decent soundtrack. It isn't as awesome as something like Digital Devil Saga or Persona 3. It's just but it's just it's okay. It's probably like the same levels of quality as like Double Driver 2 or something. It's just okay. Okay soundtrack. Um yeah, I didn't really talk about the graphics either. The graphics are really nice. Um I think they're nice at least. It took me like a while to get super like to like the super anime art style. Um because I even though I love anime and stuff, like it took me a while to get used to it for some reason. And I think it's because I'm just not used to it when it comes to Megami Tensei. I'm like, yeah, like the Sojima art in Persona 3 and 4 is super anime too, but it isn't as anime as Toy 8's art or the Yasuda art from Ghost Survivor 1 and 2. But it's good. Like once you get used to everything, once you get used to the aesthetic, it's awesome. Like it really works. And it's really hard to explain why it works. It just does. Like and I don't know. I really like the art. Really good art. Yeah, at least in my opinion, it is. It's good art. Um, I also really like how expressive everybody is in the game too. Like they really are expressive characters. Like they'll move their hands when something happens or something, or their eyes will widen up, and it's really neat. And it's really neat seeing these 3D models do it because like as 3D models have been like used for characters since like Rido 2. So seeing it in action again is pretty cool seeing those 3D models and stuff. Um okay, another jump cut, but whatever. There are still a few other things I want to talk about the game. Um as I was saying, graphics wise, it's nice. I really like how colorful the whole game is because I like colors and colors are cool and colors are neat and I like colors. So I really like how colorful the whole game is. Forgot to mention that. Um, there are other things in this game that I think I'm forgetting to talk about. Um, oh, the lack of a dub. I know a lot of people complain, oh, it sucks this game doesn't have an English dub. Um, And I love dubs. I prefer dubs. I'm the kind of person who complains if an anime doesn't get a dub. Uh, Usually I just suck it up and watch it subbed anyways. But I'm actually okay that this game didn't get a dub. Simply because the story, since it's so heavily based in Japanese acting and Japanese music culture and stuff, I just don't feel like that's something that will translate well in in English. And there's a ton of Japanese music too. So like again, that just wouldn't translate well. And I just imagine being a huge undertaking to uh, translate the entire script and then like dub it and then translate the songs and then have people good enough singing those songs to also dub that. I imagine that would take a long time and a lot of money. So I'm actually okay with that. Nintendo opted out to do not to do it. When some people might say, well, why not just dub everything else, not the music? Well, then I don't know. I kind of feel like that would like undermine um like the characters. If that makes any sense. Like all the songs that are sung in the soundtrack are also sung by the same people who are voice acting the characters. So I don't know. That might just be a little weird if you just switch and the soundtrack. It might be weird and jarring and stuff. So yeah, I don't really think that's a good complaint. It's just if you it's just there. And you can also turn off the Japanese voices too if it really bothers you and just read the text. So yeah, I don't think having no dub is a big deal. What kind of sucks though, speaking of like the voice acting stuff, the battles aren't like subtitled. And I understand why it isn't subtitled is because like the game wasn't programmed originally to have subtitles in the while in battles. So, it'll just probably be a huge technical bastard or whatever to actually program subtitles into the battle. So even though it sucks that it's not there, I'm not I can understand it. Yeah, there we go. Even though it sucks it's not there, I can understand not being there. And um, anything else? Oh, there is some slowdown in the game, and I feel like every Wii U game has this issue where there's always slowdown. I think the only game on Wii U I had played that I haven't experienced no slowdown in and is like Mario Kart 8. Like every Wii U game I played, I've experienced some sort of lag. So, and it isn't here in this game too, but it isn't like too bad, thankfully. Sometimes when the screen will get busy, it'll slow down for a few seconds, but the frame rate will pick back up. So it isn't bad. It isn't like unplayably bad. It isn't intrusive enough where you think the game sucks because the frame rate is being lame. But it's there though, and it's kind of sucky, but it's there. Uh, any other things? Well, um, yeah. I think I said all I wanted to say about this game. Um, I just really like this game, and I really dislike how the negative reaction people have on this game. And I guess that's why I made this video because I want to share my thoughts and feelings on the game. And it's a really a good game. And if you get over the super anime aesthetic, um, or uh, like just just that, if you just get over it, it isn't really a bad game. It's a really great game. And you know what? Actually, I almost forgot to say this, but a lot of people say this game, oh, it's just otaku pandering, and really, it really isn't. Um, like it isn't as bad as other games, in terms of otaku pandering. Um, like for example, I think a game like Devil Survivor 2, which I mentioned earlier, weirdly enough, uh, I think that game probably has more otaku pandering than this one because and like Devil Survivor 2, that game has like it's basically Shin Megami Tensei meets Evangelion and there's anime moves. And it's just talking and if you saw how to like anime moves, Evangelion and Shin Megami Tensei, then that's like the ultimate pandering game. It's not really like that with Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp Iffy. And hopefully probably just anger people who like Devil Survivor 2. Uh, I do really like Devil Survivor 2 by the way, but I'm just saying that the pandering and Tokyo Mirage Sessions is not as bad as people make it out to be. And even though it is anime, um, it isn't bad if you like anime at least. Um, yeah. Now I'll properly end this video. This was super long, and I was rambling, and I was probably not making any sense. And I was probably super nervous throughout it because I have not made it a video in a long ass time and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll do this again for like Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse if I feel like it. I just really want to talk about this game in particular. So I'm gonna go leave, I suppose, and end this video. So yeah, uh, I don't know how to end this either. So abrupt end. Actually, not abrupt end. I should probably say, before I really end this video, um, that share your thoughts and feelings on the game in the comments or something. Um, what do you think of my thoughts, I suppose? And tell me if you like this video, because that'll probably be helpful. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter as well if you want, and see my stupid thoughts on Twitter. That'll probably be the link in the description too. All that stupid stuff I should probably say because why not? It'll probably be helpful. Uh, so yeah, now I'll properly end this video because yeah, I talked way too much.